What's up? Welcome to Math with Cowboy J. I'm Cowboy J. Doing math the fun, the easy way. Let's get into it. Today we are adding fractions with like and unlike denominator. And the three types of fractions you can get after you solve it is an improper fraction, which you might have to change to a mixed number, or RIP, which stands for reduce if possible, means that your fraction can be made smaller, and an NR, which means no reducing. Your fraction is fine, just the way it is. So if you see me write TTLF, that means things to look for. Things to look for. So when adding like denominators, if the denominators are the same, then adding the numerator is my gain and keeping the denominator the same. So that's fairly simple when you have like denominators. So if I was adding 2/4 plus 1/4, again, my denominators are the same, so just add the numerators would be my aim. Fairly simple. Again, 2/6 plus 1/6. The denominators are the same, so adding numerators would be my gain. And 2 plus 1 is 3. Now if I go back over here, this fraction falls under NR, no reducing. And the reason for that is two reasons. It could be 3 is a prime number and not a factor of 4, so it can't be reduced. And 3 and 4 is in order, so it can't be reduced. So if you want to know when you can start reducing fractions, go to my YouTube on find when to start reducing fractions. Over here, we have 3/6. 3 is a prime number, but it's a factor of 6. So if the number is prime and a factor, then you use that number. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Again, all depends on where you are in your math. Some lower grades, they stop right here, but I know the high grades, the fraction has to be reduced if possible. And that's what we have for adding like denominators. Now we're going to go into adding unlike denominators, get a little bit more in detail. So I want to put this up here over this one. A little bit more to say on this one. A little bit more to do. A little bit more to do. We're going to take this one out. Add this blank one. Just a little bit more to do. Now, when adding unlike denominators, you're always trying to find the least common multiple. So you're always going to try to find the smallest number that both denominators share. So these just are some things you can look for. Sorry, my hand might have messed it up. So I'm going to do a little rewrite. So it's a little messed up. Sorry about that. All right, so things to look for. Number one, see if the small, and I'm going to do an example of each one of these. See if the small denominator is a factor of the large denominator. If so, the large denominator is the least common multiple. If that doesn't work, then you try step 2. If both denominators are prime numbers, multiply together to get the LCM. 3, again, these are all ways to find the LCM. 3, see if the denominators, we should say denominators with an S, See if the denominators are in order. If so, multiply them together to get the LCM. Step 4, see if the small denominator is a prime number but not a factor of the large denominator. Multiply together to get the LCM. Number 5, if the denominators are in step 1 and 2, denominators are not in steps 1 through 4. Write out the multiples of both numbers to find the LCM. And if you just have to do something to get a common denominator, you can butterfly. It will give you a common denominator, but sometimes it won't be the least common multiple. It'll give you a common multiple, but sometimes it won't be the smallest one that they both share. So let's get into some examples of each one. So step 1, if my problem said, and this is small denominator, factor of large denominator. So 2/4 plus 1/8. So, I'm going to set the problem up because I have unlike denominators. So I like to put a multiplication, the number I'm going to use, and my new fraction. So I look and see if the small denominator 4 is a factor of 8. 4 times 2 is 8. So that means 8 is going to be the least common denominator. Sorry. So I got to ask myself, so 8 is our denominator. So blank times 8 equals 8. That would be 1. Number so nice, I use it twice. 4 times blank equals 8. That would be 2. Number so nice, I use it twice. 2 times 2 is 4. Now that I have like denominators, I can add my numerators and keep my denominators. This problem is an NR, no reduce. Why? Because 5 is a prime number, but it's not a factor of 8, which means they share nothing. So this problem is in its lowest term. It can't be reduced or made smaller. Number 2 was both denominators are prime. So let's say that you have both denominators are prime numbers. So let's say you had 2/3 plus 1/5. So again, I'm going to set the problem up. Multiply, the number I'm using, and my new fraction. So since both numbers are prime numbers, their least common multiple is going to be 3 times 5, which is 15. So I'm just making a math problem. 5 times blank is 15, which in this case would be the 3. It's so nice, I write it twice. 1 times 3 is 3. And again, 3 times blank would give me 15. It's going to be the 5. Number so nice, I write it twice. 2 times 5 is 10. I add it up, and I have 13 over 15. Okay? And again, 13 is a prime number, but not a factor of 15, which makes this a NR. Let's see if we can get this last one. Get the third one on there. And the third one was what? If the denominators are in order, multiply together to get the least common multiple. So let's say I had, so these are in order. So the denominators are in order. So let's say I have 1/4 plus 1/5. And what that means by in order is when you count 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's what it means. So again, set the problem up, get my new fraction. Set my problem up, get my new fraction. So since they're in order, their least common multiple is going to be 4 times 5, which in this case is 20. And since we know we use these, they're going to be opposite. So 5 times 4, so nice I write it twice. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 times 5, so nice I write it twice. 5 times 1 is 5. Add it up. 9/20. And again, 9/20 is an NR because they don't share any factors that can be used to reduce them. So that's a non-reduce. All right, that's good for you. All right, so we're gonna hit the first three. We're gonna do 4, 5, and 6. All right, up next would be 4. Small denominator is a prime number, but not a factor of large denominator. So that could be 1/5 plus 2/8. So in this case, 5 is a prime number, but it's not a factor of 8. So again, set my problem up. So again, I'm going to multiply these two together to get my least common multiple. So since it's this just comes here. So nice, I write it twice. 2 times 5 is 10. This denominator goes here. So nice, I write it twice. 1 times 8 is 8. Add it up, I get 18/40. Now I can leave it like that, depending on the question, or this might be a RIP. Since both numbers are even, I know that they share 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9, and 40 divided by 2 is 20. 9 and 20 share no other numbers, so I would leave it like that. Number 5. If the denominators are not in steps 1 through 4, write out the multiples of both to find the LCM. So this is called a WOM. So write out multiples. So therefore we have to write the whole thing out again. So let's say I had 1/4 plus 3/6. 1/4 plus 3/6. So we can see they're not prime, they're not in order. 4 is not a factor of 6. So here, we got to write out the multiple. So I'll go over here and write out my 4s. 4 times 1, 6 times 1. 4 times 2, 8. 6 times 2 times 6, 12. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 6, 18. Oh, I found a number that they both share in their multiples, which is 12. So again, I'm going to set my problem up. I know this is 12. Set my problem up. I know my denominator is 12. So I look back at my chart. It was 4 times, here go my 12, 4 times 3. So nice, I write it twice. I look at my 6, I find my 12, I look up at the top, I see there was a 2. So nice, I write it twice. Boom. My denominator stays the same. I'll move this over some. I feel we might have to do a little extra work. 3 plus 6 is 9. Bring down my 12. 12 and 9 both share 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So this is a RIP. Reduce if possible. 3/4 means we're done. The reason why, because the numbers are in order, which means they can't be reduced, or 3 is a prime number and not a factor of 4, so it can't be reduced. And the last one is butterfly. And butterfly simply means 1/4 plus 3/6. This side is my numerator, this side is my denominator. So that simply means I make a wing this way, which is 6. And I make a wing this way, which is 12. Which is 12. And I add those two together. Add these two together, that gives me 18. And I multiply these two together, and that gives me 24. So 24 is a common denominator, but it's not the least common. So usually when you get butterfly, you're going to get large fractions to reduce. So I have 18 over 24. And if I don't know it, since both of them are even, I'm going to use 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 24 divided by 2 is 12. This can still be reduced by 3 and 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. I can stop reducing for one or two reasons. 3 is a prime number and not a factor of 4, or 3 and 4 are in order. So those have been the 6 different ways to add unlike denominators. Until next time, love you guys. Peace. Enjoy.